BMRforum.com and BMRodds.com. What is going on, boys? What is going on? Welcome back to episode number 42 of The Lobby. As usual this week, seated to my right-hand side, the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Donnie Rightside. What's up, Donnie?
I'm telling you, boys, I am looking forward to this weekend here. You got some great NFL actions, 49ers, Eagles, one game, settle it all on Sunday afternoon. But before we even get there, conference playoff championships to make it into the college football playoff. I can't wait to get it started. It's a great time of year, boys.
It is a great time of year. And moving down, a new addition to the show this week. Welcome to Poster Pipe. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going, Bobby?
Doing very, very well. Thank you. And thank you for joining us this week.
Absolutely, man. Glad you guys can have me.
We're happy to have you on. And last but certainly not least, the man who obviously didn't want to do anything with his hair, that's why he's wearing a hat, Mr. Sam's in charge. What's up, Sammy?
What's going on, Bobby? You know what? Sometimes got to mix it up. Repping the Knicks, made it to the playoffs of the in conference or the in season tournament. So, got to rep them. 8 seed playing against Milwaukee.
Now, Sammy, since we're talking about that real quick, I read something earlier today and I didn't really, understand it fully. What's this deal with running up the points? You have to have more points to.
Yeah, so because there was only 4 games to decide who's going to advance to the final 8, it went by record, then it went by points for, or the point differential. So that's why teams were running up the tally yesterday and not putting in their bench players in the fourth quarter. And some coaches were upset, but they were kind of playing by the rules because that's the tiebreaker.
Exactly. Well, what do you think about that?
Kind of stinks. I guess in the end of the day, you know what? Fans are there to watch the Stars play. So even if it is a blowout, I guess that's when you want to give opportunities to the lesser known players to give them their time in the NBA to advance their skills. But sometimes the fans are going there, but maybe the fans aren't going when the game's a blowout. They leave early in fourth quarter. So it's tough on both sides. But in the end of the day, it's tough for all the audience because we can't see the damn court because they're so damn bright. So they got to fix the coloring there. It's wild.
Yes, they do. Donnie, what's your opinion on this format of, running up the score there?
Well, first of all, I think the format stinks overall. There's no need to have an NBA in-season tournament. But the hardest part of it, as fans, what do you want? Simplicity. I could buy into it if I knew what was going on. But I feel like I need to take AP calculus in order to find out who's actually eligible for what and who's playing where and what it actually means. The format can be so much more simple than, as Sam's talking about. They only play 4 games. Expand it to like 10 games here. The first 15 games of the season are going to be an in-tournament, game, quote unquote, right? And then you don't have to worry about any of these tiebreakers or who does what. It's pretty simple to see, but only 4 games leave so much for this team needs this team needs to beat who's a wild card, who's not a wild card, who has to foul at the end of a basketball game. Stop the madness. Just simplify the tournament completely.
Exactly. And I don't really see the whole point of the in-season. I think we just lost pipe. I don't see the whole the premise of the in-season tournament. Have the playoffs. Thanks. You don't really need a separate in-season tournament. I think the whole concept is pretty stupid. And my personal opinion, I think they're probably going to get rid of it after this year. I don't see them continue with the format. What do you think, Donnie?
They will because it makes money, but it doesn't mean it's right. Like the NFL finally realized, like, hey, the Pro Bowl is a disaster. But then if you put it up against rating, like, well, it's the highest rated program of the week, so it's going to make them money. But even they saw it was like, this is an embarrassment to the sport. I'm not even saying it's an embarrassment to the sport. It could be much better, but nobody asked for this, right? When you say, hey, let's expand the college football playoff, yay, we all like that. The minute it came out, hey, in-season basketball tournament, like, well, I don't understand. Like, did we need this here? When you're asking those questions, you don't actually need it.
Exactly. Sammy, I take it you're nodding your head there. You agree with Donnie on that?
Yeah. I mean, again, the whole premise, they're kind of basing it around soccer where they have the Champions League, they have the UEFA Cup and FA Cup, but, it's a little bit tougher when they're not making it, the whole Europe or the whole country or the whole world. It's just the NBA. It's not like they're expanding outside of the NBA to add to the competition.
Yes, exactly. Now, since Pipe, you're joining us this week, you want to give us a little bit of history, throughout the years of Formville and of sports betting. How'd you get started? How'd you find us here at BMR? What's your history there?
Well, I started betting as a young kid. I grew up down in Miami, and my father always went to the highlight. I don't know if you know. Hello?
I got you.
We got you.
Or is it
Okay.
just me? Because I can't hear anybody. Hold on.
I got him. Pipe.
That's
Keep
all
going,
right.
Pipe.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. I was born down in Miami, and
My bad. I
my
accidentally. I'm sorry. Go. Start. I'm sorry. My bad. Start again.
it's
Pipe.
all right.
Always
Anyways, my dad
with me.
my dad used to go to highlight. I don't know if you guys know what that sport is.
Yep.
They have a bunch of frontons down in Florida. And I grew up, 9 years old, 10 years old. Can I go? No. So I'm like, what the hell is this? So I used to see him come back with a boatload of money.
Right.
So finally, when I got to 18, because you had to be 18 to get in there, I went in there and I bet a trifecta for $6 and won $709. And well, that's the history of me. And I got hooked. Then in the 90s, I've been around for a while doing the sports betting and stuff and all on all these forums. And I found you guys through a Google search. And here I am.
Awesome. Well, we are definitely happy to have you as part of the community. And again, happy to have you here on this podcast today.
I enjoy it, man. There's a lot of good guys in there.
By the way, highlight, interesting stuff. And also, like, it's one of the, because most people don't know actually what it is, but that was one of the first legalized things you could actually bet on and stayed that way for a long time. And Florida now finally got legalized gambling. You have the offshore books. We always known that. But I always found highlight interesting is if that was a legal thing you could do to bet on and how big it was.
What is it?
That's how Florida
What
market.
is it?
Yeah.
It's a Spanish basquet game where they catch the ball with a cesta and the ball is made of goat skin. And it's the world's fastest game, actually. That ball travels about 100 miles an hour. And then it's like a round robin type. You have 8 teams. Sometimes you're just single. Say you're one team, Bobby. Donnie's one team. I'm one team. He's one team, Sammy. And there's 8 of us. And it's a round robin type game. The one plays the 2. So whoever wins there, the point gets down to the bottom. And whoever gets the 7 points is actually the winner. Second place is the next guy. He has 4 points. He gets place and then show. Kind of like the horses, win, play, show.
Huh.
And then you'll have teams where Sammy and Donnie will be one team and you and me they'll be the number 1. We'll be the number 2, Bobby. And then there's a front court and a back court.
Huh.
And like I said, a lot of people don't know about it. I mean, it lost its lust. A lot of those places now are casinos down there, by the way.
I was going to say, I've never heard of this sport before.
Bobby, if you
have to look it up. It's really,
if you saw a clip, you'd actually say, oh, I didn't know what that was called, but you know what it is. Even like if you ever saw like the movie Jackass before, they actually have that crew go down there and take shots from the highlight guys, which when I tell you, if you're looking at Roger Clemens on the mound, he doesn't hold a candle to how fast these guys can actually whip that ball.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Once you mention the Jackass.
Yep.
I know what you're talking about.
And they even did some movies too. A couple of movies. Miami Vice, when it was down there, they did it in there, and a couple others.
Huh. Interesting. I'm gonna have to do a little more research into that. I'm gonna have to check out that.
As a matter of fact, I have 2 cestas. Still, they're about $200 a piece. They're made of how do you say it? Wicker.
Yeah.
It's a basket.
Right.
And that's what they tie around their hands to catch the ball.
Huh.
God bless.
So that was my starting.
All right. Well, what sports do you primarily like to bet on? What do you enjoy?
NFL, college basketball.
Okay.
That's what I stick to.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Since we're talking about sports and sports gambling, let's dive right into it, Donnie, with NBA tonight. What do you got for us?
Yeah, the NBA, it's interesting. Again, we're now outside of those 4 in-play games, or the in-season tournament games. So now we're back sort of to an even schedule. There's a game that interests me tonight. It's actually Paul George going up against Denver. Excuse me, not Denver tonight. It's Paul George is taking on, Sacramento. So he was terrible in his last game against Denver, only had a couple points. So I actually took early this morning points prop here for Paul George over 24.5. Most outlets now showing 25.5 and 26.5. I think he's due for a bounce back performance. And also from a Sacramento perspective, they had a big emotional win yesterday to get into the tournament by knocking out Golden State or knocking off Golden State yesterday. So just in a bounce back spot on a Clippers team that's really struggling this year. Paul George struggled last game. I'm going to go against the struggle in this one, and I'll take Paul George over 24.5 points today.
All right. Good luck with that. Sammy, what do you got for us on the court?
Nothing on the NBA for me, but I do have the two big college games, two top 10 or top 15 matchups in NCAA. I'm taking Tennessee over North Carolina, and then Duke over Arkansas in the night game around 9:30.
Yeah,
all right.
Basketball tonight.
Yeah,
Sammy,
basketball.
Donnie, you got anything on the college court?
Yeah, the only one I like a little bit here tonight is I think Villanova, who actually lost their first Big Five game of the season against University of Pennsylvania at the Palestra. They played very good basketball after that game where they got tripped up. Now, also, they're playing St. Joe's, which actually went to overtime in Rupp Arena and lost that game to the Kentucky Wildcats you saw last night mop up the floor with the University of Miami. But I'm going to go with Villanova tonight. I think they were able to win by margin. It's a 12-point number. I think they take care of business tonight.
Right. Good luck with that. And since we're talking about college basketball, let's jump right into Genie's shout out for this week. Her shout out goes to the one, the only LT Profits. His great run in college basketball. Congratulations, LT. Keep the hot streak going. And thank you from all of us for the wonderful running of all the various contests here at BMR. Now, Pipe, I know you mentioned you dabble in a little college basketball. You got
I kind of like one NBA tonight. I was listening to Donnie there. I like the Clippers to cover that spread. It's a short spread. Kings had a big one. I think this is a good bounce back game, like Donnie said. And I kind of like them on the spread today on the NBA.
All right. Awesome. Well, good luck with that, Pipe. Hopefully you and Donnie both cash those tickets. Sammy, how was your last week in college football? Week number 12. How'd you do? What did you have?
Yeah, so in reference to college football, I ended up in that contest 28th place out of the 63 participants.
Okay.
So it did end this week. So shout out to the winners, the final top 10. So starting in 10th place, Leisure, 9th place, Live Lucky, and all these top 10 got baller coins. So 200 baller coins for 10th place Leisure, all the way up to first place, who got 12,000 baller coins. 8th place, Frank Lee. 7th place, Stevie Ray. 6th place, Daniel SP. 5th place, Lex Icon. 4th place, Red Right Red. 3rd place, Hawk Wind. 2nd place, Go Bucks. And shout out to the winner, Haas Wilbur. 12,000 baller coins, 226 points. 57 wins on the season.
Awesome. Congratulations to you guys, and enjoy those baller coins. Donnie, how was your last week in college? How'd you
College football. Yeah, I actually didn't have any straight wagers, but of course, everybody was focused on Ohio State and Michigan as I was. So let me just have some fun. I took an anytime touchdown score for Blake Corum. He got in twice. And also for Marvin Harrison Jr., who showed up late and finally scored a touchdown in that game. Thoroughly entertained all the way through, made some money, enjoyed myself. And that's what I did with college football last week. So I'm not a big spread guy in college per se. Now this week, going to be a lot of fun we'll talk about. But last week, I just wanted to enjoy the Ohio State-Michigan game, have a little scratch in there at one. It was good to watch and enjoyed it.
All right, Pipe, how was your last week in college football? What do you have?
I did all right. I mean, I had the under Mississippi on Thanksgiving Day, which was way under. We were getting a 50s number on there. And then I had Nebraska money line. I guess you all saw how that turned out. That was one crazy game there at the end with 24 seconds. They threw a pick, Iowa, and then Purdy gave it back to them. Yeah, that was a bad beat. I had them on the money line. I also had Ball State against Miami, Ohio. That was a nice one. They lost by 2, but they covered the spread of 4. And I had Kent State under 45, Northern Illinois. I got exploded there. A couple of them I posted, but I had also Ohio State minus 3.5. They won by 6. I had SMU minus 19.5, the S Navy. They boat race Navy. So that was my college last week, should I say.
All right. Awesome. Sammy, how was NFL for you last week? I know we touched on college. Let's jump over to the professionals. How was your last week in NFL?
Yeah, NFL wasn't bad. I went 4-3, but I won my 7, 6, 5, and 4 for my confident picks.
There you go.
So
All right.
in reference to that, I got 22 points. Also, this contest is 7 picks. Other contests are 4 picks. JDS Carolina Kids contest is 3 picks. And from a gambling standpoint, you only play your confident ones. So in reference to contest, I did pretty good winning all my confident picks. Gambling standpoint, won a little bit of money this week. So pretty good week all the way around.
All right, Pipe, how was your last week in NFL? What do you have?
I had a pretty good one. I did a couple live bets on Denver. Once that number shot up, it closed at, it was at 40.5. It closed around 37.5, 37 at some books. I caught that live line at 41.5, and they threw up 42. And you don't do that to me. If I like 41, I love 42. I hit those two. I caught that Raiders live number. Obviously, I got beat there. Caught 47.5 on that. I had the Bears under 45, and then I hit under 43.5 also. Plus the Bears 3.5. So I did all right, 4-1 on there.
All right, awesome. Anytime you can finish with a winning record, that is great. Donnie, how was your last week in NFL?
It was good. It's been a good couple weeks here. And I was like, especially on Twitter, I'll post all my tickets up there so everybody knows what I'm on. Went 5-0 on my prop bets, which was awesome. But you know what my favorite part was? 6-0 in the pool, in the contest pool this week. And the only loss I had was the Philadelphia Eagles, which was my number 1, not number 7 game. Only 1 point there. It's what I lost. And it's a shame because you don't kick extra points in overtime. So they won by 3, but the line was 3.5. As you know, with the pool, it typically was 3 all week, but they don't give you 3s because they don't want to have any pushes. So I actually thought the Eagles would win by margin. But that was the only loss I had was the Buffalo Bills game. So 6-1, moving on up. It's been fun. I'm 51-33 ATS in that. So just trying to hang out and put a good face on for the boys here. Like, we can't say, hey, you know what do you guys do around here? Oh, I pick games. Oh, you're bad at games. No, I'm not that bad at games here. Look, there's the proof. So we're winning all the way around, fellas.
Awesome. Moving forward to NFL this week, who do you got for your 7?
Yeah, so we're going to start off tomorrow on Thursday Night Football with the Dallas Cowboys. Surprise, surprise.
Ooh.
Homer, real surprise there, Sam. Go on.
Of course, got to take the homie pick. But listen, Cowboys are undefeated at home. Their offense is rolling, and they are dominating teams at home. So no reason to think that their offense slows down. Take the -9, what they are right now, at home tomorrow. Other games I like, Indianapolis over Tennessee in a nice division battle. I like the Jets home to the Falcons. I think I'm taking that game. More of the group message is going to that game. So a lot of my buddies at work that are Jets fans are going to the game. So, boys are going to the game. Group message puts money on the Jets. So I think a little bit of a homie bet there as well for my friends. Taking the Chargers over New England. That offense in New England is atrocious. Are they throwing games at this point? I mean, I know it was raining in the last week in their loss versus New York, but it was a 30-yarder to send it into overtime, and he kicked it wide left from the right hash. So that's a little questionable. But Chargers over New England. And then I like Philly at home versus San Fran. I'm not sure why they're an underdog there. I'm not sure if I missed an injury today. But, Philly at home, Jalen Hurts doesn't really lose regular season games, and I guess neither does Brock Purdy. Obviously, it's a different game than last year in the playoffs. But Philly offense can come from behind. They did it last week against Buffalo. So, give me the home team at a underdog price. I'll take that all day.
Definitely. Well, good luck with those, Sammy. Donnie, what do you got for week 13? What do you got for your 7?
A couple little different ones here than Sammy has. Indianapolis, I'm going to lay the -1.5, even though Jonathan Taylor is out. Zach Moss is a real capable backup quarterback. I just like the mojo that Indy has fighting for a playoff spot at 6-5. Tennessee, I'm just not all that impressed with their offense overall. We'll start there. Also, I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers getting 5.5 points on the road against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Panthers stink. But I always like situations where the head coach gets removed. It's a little bit looser in there, not trusting Tampa Bay that much. Maybe Carolina can hang around in this one. But I'm actually going to go against Sammy with that New York Jets pick, and I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons. Not because I like the Falcons, because necessarily I don't. Yeah, they picked up a victory last week against the New Orleans Saints, but Tim Boyle is a terrible quarterback, and that's the reason why I'm just fading Tim Boyle and the New York Jets this weekend. The Pittsburgh Steelers, not in love with them, but also don't like the Arizona Cardinals. The Pittsburgh offense found a little bit last week, not in the scoring column, but actually able to gain over 400 yards on offense, which seemed Herculean for them in the first couple weeks of this season. So I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm also going to take the Detroit Lions. The New Orleans Saints are drawing dead for me right now. I actually thought there was a legitimate chance they could win that division, how bad it is. They're just not showing up at this point. I think Detroit's in a good bounce back spot. And one of the teams that I've been really, really liking the past couple weeks and winning money on, the Denver Broncos, getting 3.5 points here from Houston. I think Houston is a wonderful football team with a legitimate chance to make the playoffs. And by the way, this might feel like an eliminator game. You win this game, you get your 7th win of the season, and you hold the tiebreaker over the other team that you just beat. But I don't even need Denver to win this game. I'll take the 3.5. And then on Monday night, don't love this one, and I don't think Cincinnati is very good, but that number is 8.5 with Jacksonville. I could see Jacksonville sneaking in there, getting the win, getting out of there, but a cover here from the Cincinnati Bengals. And as me and Sammy always say, subject to change as we go, but this is where I'm leading this week.
All right. Thank you, Donnie, and good luck with those. Pipe, what are you looking forward to this coming weekend in NFL? What are some of your plays?
I just wanted to point out the top teams in the NFL and the bottom teams in scoring. Dallas right now is number 1 at 31.5. Miami comes in.
I love that. Go on.
Miami comes in second at 30.8. 49ers are at 28.2, and Philly's the same number, ironically. The bottom 4 are the Giants at 13.3. I mean, yeah, they're a dumpster fire. New England right behind them at 13.5. The Jets are just as horrible, 14.8. And Carolina bottoms that out at the 4th lowest scoring team. Now, the interesting thing here are your top 3 teams on the overs this year are the Colts. They're at 7-4. I'm pretty surprised at that. Dallas is right there with them at 7-4, and the Lions. And that's really interesting, right, to see. And then you got your bottom teams. The top under team is Pittsburgh. That's really impressive because, well, I guess Kenny Pickett was going to do better, but not. He's 2-9. Raiders are 3-9 to the under. Minnesota's 3-9, and the Giants are 3-9. These numbers, of course, during the year, you'll say, damn, you'll see some teams there that you don't expect. Right. And the crazy part is you go down to the next teams that are 3-8 to the under. We got New Orleans, Chargers, KC, Carolina, Tampa, Titans, New England. Like 2 teams there that surprised the shit out of me. It's Chargers and KC. Who expects them to be an under team, right?
Yep.
And I like I'm going to go against Sammy. I like the 49ers. I mean, the only reason is because I'm getting the key number 2.5. If it's 3, I'll probably change my tune. If you notice, Buffalo the other day was at 3.5, and what happened? It got dropped down, and it ended up as a push. Like Donnie had said, overtime, they don't kick that extra point. And that's what I feel as a side. And I like New England under 40. I mean, they're a dumpster fire. Sammy pointed that out. And I also like the Jets, which I think is the lowest total on the board this week, under 34. I feel their offense is atrocious too. And then my last one is, I think Donnie posted it, is the under 38.5 in the Monday night. I mean, who don't like Monday night? They're 13-1 to the under.
It's true. It's really true. Primetime games kryptonite to scoring points, man. It's unbelievable this year. It really is.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, I posted it earlier at, 105 and some ridiculous number to the under this year. And 24-9 on TV games total. Yep. I mean, It's incredible. I mean, I've never seen a year like this since I've been doing this.
It's been bad, Pipe.
Well, thank you for those statistics, Pipe, and good luck with those NFL plays this weekend. Hopefully you cash that. Donnie, moving on to college football, week number 14 coming up upon us. What do you like? What do you got?
It's going to be interesting. Now, I bet 2 weeks ago, I didn't get in early in the Heisman race, but I saw a pathway where Bo Nix could win it. He was plus 150. I took a small sample of that. He's now about that minus 150, minus 180, minus 200, depending on where you're shopping at. I think if Oregon wins this game, Bo Nix is going to win the Heisman, which is the reason why I bet it here. Jaden Daniels is a phenomenal player. We just don't have those Heisman moments from him. You beat Washington for Oregon. Bo Nix is going to get that. But here's the issue I have overall, right? Because if I'm going to say I like Oregon, and I do, I think they beat Washington. I think the line is inflated, but for good reason. Because I do think Oregon is playing for a little bit more in the second half, which just in case the College Playoff Committee needs some extra curriculars on your team. If you beat Washington by 4, that's still a great win and you should be in. But if you beat Washington by 14, that might send the signal where if you're up in that one-loss column, let's just say Alabama knocks off Georgia and Texas wins to get in, there's a couple teams with one loss. You want to make sure you have your best foot forward. That's why I think that line is a little bit inflated, but I do think Oregon ends up beating Washington there. The game I'm looking forward to, obviously, is Georgia and Alabama, but it's Louisville and Florida State. For me, I've been on the radio, TV shows saying there's nothing against Florida State from my side. If Travis was their quarterback, never got hurt, they win this football game, I wouldn't say a peep, but say Florida State absolutely deserves to be in the college football playoff. But they're not as good a football team without him at quarterback. So I'm hoping Louisville does the trick and beats Florida State so we can get 4 deserving teams in there. It's nothing against Florida State. If they had Travis, they would be in. I would love it. But since they don't, they're not as good as the other teams now. So if they win and get in and say, okay, hey, college, football champions here, they eke by Louisville and get in, I understand it. I just would keep them out here. So for my money and maybe just from a fandom perspective, I'm going to bet against them and take Louisville, and I'll take the 2.5 points.
All right. Good luck, Donnie, and thank you for that. Pipe, leading into college football this weekend, excuse me. What do you got for us?
I really like that Toledo under. Some books are down to 44. I think it was a lot higher. Some books now got it at 44.5, which is obviously what I would do, get off that key number there. And I also like Florida State under. I know it opened at 50.5, down to 47.5 at some books. Obviously, I'll take 47.5. And I'm with Donnie. I think Louisville's going to upset Florida State.
Let's go, Pipe. Tell them.
On the money line. I love Louisville there in that position. I don't think Florida State's that strong. I think they're primed for an upset, man.
All right. Good luck, Pipe. Sammy, what do you got for us in college football?
I think in college, all I'm going to take is Iowa to score points. I think their team total is 6.5, and then I've seen their halftime total be a half point, and their second half total be a half a point. So what you do is all they got to do is get a random turnover, a random play on offense, a random face mask,
pick six,
field goal,
anything.
So here's what you do: you take whatever you want to take in the first half, you take the over, whatever your unit size is, and then you just roll it. If they lose in the first half and they score 0, you just double the bet in the second half. If they don't score a point, God bless. But come on, give me 1 point in that game just to win some money.
Kind of makes sense, Sammy.
Sounds like a little bit of a martingale strategy there, Sam.
It's just kind of embarrassing that we're talking about a conference championship game and a team scoring 1 point.
That's a damn low total, too, for the spread to be so high.
But like Donnie was talking about, with all these teams and all these scenarios, I think that's what makes next year and the 8-team playoff that much better. It's just going to make such better football, such better storylines, and real competition to really deserve a national title.
Yeah.
That line did drop down, by the way, too.
Yeah.
So if you guys on Twitter, X, I keep wanting to call it Twitter. Donnie, you have to remind me every week it is X, not Twitter.
I call it Twitter still.
If you guys that are watching us here on the podcast, guys, if you are new to X, if you are new to BMR, make sure you go on Twitter, X, and every Friday, guys, we're going to be doing our Follow Friday giveaway. So all you guys have to do for our new followers, guys that are not following us on X, every Friday when we post, it's going to be around 1 o'clock. Follow us after that time, and we will select one random new follower, and they will get $50. I mean, what could be easier than that? 2 clicks of a mouse. You follow us on Twitter, on X, whatever you want to call it, same shit, and you can win a free $50. In addition to the free $50, go ahead and PM myself, PM BMR Genie, your proof that you are following us on X, and you will get some baller coins. So $50 random giveaway, baller coins. It can't get any better than this, Sammy.
Absolutely. So my strategy every week is basically just to unfollow and then refollow, and then my name's always in the hat every week.
You might have just thought of a great loophole. Strategy.
Hey, listen, we're gamblers. We got to find the edge. Got to find the
edge.
Yep. Exactly. And guys, speaking of X, looking forward to the return of Streak of Fortune tomorrow.
Yes.
I know Donnie, Sammy, you both are looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah.
Christmas
fellow winners
coming,
here.
Let's go. Yeah.
Yes, yes, it is. Get yourself a free $500 of Christmas cash. So always
Gotta
a
look
good
into that.
time.
Yep, it's a good one.
Yes,
It's a good one, Pipe.
yes,
Yes,
but definitely go
best one
on
we
to
have.
X
I love it.
and follow us at BMR Reviews on Twitter, on
It's
X.
always fun.
Yes,
Those
yes,
contests are always fun.
Yep.
yes, yes. They're always a good time, and thank you to BMR and everybody involved with them for running those wonderful contests.
Right on.
But
Right
last
on.
but certainly not least, if you want to get some bowler coins, again, I mentioned it. Follow us at X BMR Reviews, Twitter, X, same thing, or follow us on Instagram, BMR_review. PM myself, PM BMR Genie, proof that you are following, and we will go ahead and we will send you some bowler coins. But thank you again, Pipe, for being on the podcast this week.
Thanks for having me on, guys,
Good job,
man.
Pipe.
Absolutely.
Good job, brother. Yeah.
Right on, brother. Let's get this money this week.
Yep.
Yes, let's end with that. Let's get this money this week.
Yes.
I'm looking for that Louisville upset.
Let's
All
do it,
right,
man.
all right. Great. Have a great week, everybody, and best of luck.
Awesome.
See ya.